What's going on in a nutshell is I went from crime prevention to death prevention. That's where we are. And unfortunately, what's happening is individuals who believe in harm reduction are driving around in golf carts, handing out meth pipes to individuals who are struggling with addiction, and it's causing a lot of chaos in the area. Well, the reason why a lot of individuals, these groups are doing this, they feel it's because of harm reduction. They think it's helping in some way prevent people from getting diseases. The problem is fentanyl has killed a lot of people in LA County. I think it was about 1,900 last year. And where I work alone in a place called Skid Row, I think we're at a 170 right now, 170 people who've died from fentanyl overdose. So what they're doing is they're driving around in a golf cart and they're giving clean pipes to individuals who are struggling with this addiction. Why that's frustrating for me is this. Due to a lot of people dying from fentanyl, many people who I've known for 20 years, 25 years, who one minute were fine or just got off the street and got housed. Next thing you know, they find fentanyl and try it for the first time. And next thing you know, they're dead because, as we all know, it only takes 2 milligrams to kill you. That's 2 grains of salt. I decided to focus more on high visibility to disrupt the death in some of the streets that were having a high volume of people overdosing. And one of the things I'll do is I'll pull up on a street, let's say 5th and Main, where a lot of people were dying from fentanyl. And I'll park and I'll run off the drug dealers and the addicts. For the addicts, it's to save their lives. It's to disrupt the activity. For the dealers, I just want them gone. I don't want them anywhere near the area, especially when there are people in recovery and programs in the area. And it works. And then what I'll do is I'll drive off, and then in the rearview mirror, I'll see this golf cart pull up right behind me and park. And the same people that I ran off to save their lives will come back to that cart and get a bunch of pipes. And I'll come back an hour later after handling a call, and those same people I ran off before, who now have fresh pipes, are laid on the sidewalk overdosing on fentanyl. Many individuals, I think in 1 month, I had to rescue 3 people who were dying. I had to perform CPR. And it was really horrific to watch. These are people I knew. And I'll never forget, I think it was on 7th and May, I had just cleared the block. I left, cart comes, gives out pipes to the people. I come around and there's a young lady dying of fentanyl. Dying. Face is blue, breathing once every 30 seconds. I get out of the car and I perform chest compressions. I'm doing everything I can to save this young lady's life. And the irony is, while I'm doing this, and I give them a dose of Narcan, I see the golf cart pull up again, and now they want to play hero and get out and start filling them full of Narcan and save their lives, okay? Okay, which is great. I'm glad a life was saved, but look what you caused in between. You know, it's just counterintuitive. You know, you gave this person the means, unfortunately, to harm themselves. I consider it tantamount to seeing someone in a severe state of depression. Let's say they're suffering from depression, like people suffer from addiction. And you see them with a rusty cutting tool in their hand. And you get out of the car and say, oh, you poor thing, I see you're depressed. I respect your autonomy, but let me take away this cutting tool from you and let me give you this brand new razor blade. And then you leave, and then you come back, and you see this person has died from cutting themselves, and you say, you know what? It's tragic that they died, but at least they didn't get tetanus. That's what we're up against in downtown LA and places all across the country in trying to save people from themselves. And I want to state this. They believe in autonomy. They believe that people should be able to do whatever they want to do. And if they die, they die. Okay. You know, you got to understand that many of these individuals who are dying from fentanyl, they didn't want to die from fentanyl. I know that for a fact. You know, I know a young lady who just got housed. It took years for us to get her into housing. And she finally got housed. I've known this young lady since she was 17 years old. And 2 days into her brand new apartment, she got a hold of fentanyl for the first time and died 2 days after being housed. You know, so who are you helping? You know, that's not harm reduction. You know, for me, I am never going to be a supporter of the harm reduction ideology, but I can stomach safe injection sites. If you want to spring up safe injection sites, and as long as they're done in order and it's not causing chaos, I can stomach that. What I cannot stomach is individuals getting in a golf cart, going out into the streets and passing out the means for individuals to poison themselves with, knowing how lethal, knowing the lethality of fentanyl and how potent it is. That to me is not harm reduction, that's inhumanity in its highest form, masked in care. And that's dangerous and that's wrong. It frustrates me also because, I try to get the ear of public officials. And I remember setting up a meeting with two public officials. I will not name names. I'm not here to throw anybody under the bus. I'm not here to do that. I don't care if you're left or right. I'm just here to tell the truth to the American people. And I set up this meeting, and we sat there and met with two government officials. And when I talked about this from an impassioned place, a place of concern, a place of reality, not ideology, one of them was listening, but the other one, who I guess was the coordinator of all of this, stood up and walked out of the meeting. And that let me know that things weren't going to change. When I'm telling you that the people I serve, the people I care about, the people I want to reunite with their families, their loved ones. Let me tell you something. I had a lady recently, she called me in tears, said, "Can you help me find my daughter? I'm afraid she's going to overdose and die in these streets." And I did everything I could on top of solving murders, trying to stop rapes, all of my responsibilities, having meetings. When I had time, I did everything I could to try to find her daughter, knowing the reality is her daughter could die. This took about 6 months. I never found her daughter. She probably didn't want to be found. The mother flew out from wherever she was and decided to go searching for herself. As soon as she got to her station, she found out that her daughter died just a few hours before in a tent from fentanyl. And I can only imagine someone just gleefully saying, here's your pipe. And I could just imagine her daughter ingesting fentanyl and dying. And her mother missed reuniting with her daughter by 2 hours. And of course, the mother blamed me, and I understand that. I don't get angry at people. The stages of grief are real. You're looking for somebody to blame. I know where the blame lies. It lies with the dealers, and it also lies with those aiding and abetting with the deaths of people and those who are passing out meth pipes. If you're all about harm reduction, Narcan, I get it. I get it. Narcan is harm reduction. You're trying to stop people from dying. But when you're passing out meth pipes, that's ridiculous. You cannot, give people the means to kill themselves and then try to show up as a hero with Narcan. You either want them to live or you want them to die. Your ideology can't be more important than saving lives and guiding people to the services that they need to get themselves together, to get their lives back, to reunite with loved ones who could actually help them. You're actually impeding that. And to me, there's no justification for it. I don't care how much contorted language or linguistics that you use to make it sound good. It will always be seen in my eyes as a great evil to aid someone in something that has the high potential to kill them. It will always be seen as a great evil for me. Fentanyl is laced in everything. Unfortunately, and please, parents, if you're listening to me, it's in weed now. They're putting it in heroin. They're putting it in meth. So if you're a meth user, you're going to get some meth that's going to have fentanyl with it. Sometimes they even ask for it because how powerful the high is, because they're looking to escape. You put it in a bowl pipe. Put it in there, you heat it up, and you smoke it. And when you smoke it, rather than ingesting it or snorting it, you get high very, very quickly. That's the hook, because you get a very powerful high very, very quickly. Here's the issue. It takes over your receptors in your body. And what fentanyl does, like I said, just 2 grains of salt, 2 milligrams of fentanyl, this is what it does to your system. Your internal organs begin to slow down and crash. And one of those very important internal organs that you need to live is your lungs. Your lung function starts to become severely impacted. And when that happens, you start to stop breathing. Never forget a wonderful young lady who I've known in Skid Row for years. I was driving up and someone yells out, "One time," to warn everybody that the police was around. And she had just hit the pipe. Now, I couldn't see what she was doing because her back was turned. But when she turned and saw me, it took about 5 to 7 seconds and she froze. And when I pulled up, I said, "You okay?" And she fell backwards on the sidewalk, hitting the back of her head. I got out of my car, and once again, another individual who took me 10 minutes to give her chest compressions and CPR to try to get her to come around and hit her with 1 or 2 vials of Narcan before the paramedics got there. That's how powerful that little glass pipe and the product that's in it is. That's how devastating it has been. You're talking about 170 people. Once again, your ideas cannot be more important than the human beings you claim to care about. And what I always wonder is, why if you're seeing this happening, why don't you take a step back and say, you know what? We may be the cause of this. It's not intentional. I'm not trying to vilify or dehumanize or villainize anyone. I'm just telling the truth. But if you're really a person of decency, if you look and you say, this is what this is causing, let's take a step back and let's do it this way. Or let's guide people to safe injection sites where we can help them instead of just throwing glass pipes and Narcan at them. Okay, you're on your own. We did our good deed for the day. These are some of the things that I really wish people would have some deep introspection and look within and say, maybe we need to change the way we do things. I really wish that would happen. It's heartbreaking to see what I'm seeing right now.
If you haven't checked out CaliforniaInsider.com, we highly recommend you do that now because we're going to have a lot of news and videos there. And on top of what we have there right now, we are building a really big platform to cover what's happening in California so you can be informed. We're going to have more shows, more videos from all aspects of life in California. Go to CaliforniaInsider.com and we'll see you there.